All right, guys, welcome back. It is time for some before and afters. If you've been following the episodes in this first time flipper series, you know that I've been flipping 6 units this summer and 2 of them are ready. So today we're gonna do some walkthroughs, some before and afters. We're gonna break down the rehab costs, so stay to the end so you can see line by line exactly what everything has cost me to do this rehab. I'm giving it to you guys 100%, like no other YouTubers give you the numbers on how these deals end up working. If you're new to the channel, my name is Lili and this is where I document my real estate investing journey and bring you guys along with me. With the 6 units that I'm renovating this summer, I'm actually not going to renovate and sell them. I'm going to use something called the BRRRR strategy, which stands for buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. And right now we are at a super important part in that BRRRR process. I bought the properties, I renovated them, and now it's time to rent them out and start getting some money coming back into my pocket. And with finding a quality tenant quickly being such an important part of the process, I'm so glad that I'm done with these renovations and I can finally tell you about today's sponsor, RentRedi. RentRedi is an online platform, a mobile app that helps you manage all of your properties. Landlords and tenants alike are going to love it. It's how I'll be finding tenants for all of the properties I'm renovating this summer, as well as managing those tenants, collecting rent, handling maintenance requests, all of that good stuff. I'll tell you more about RentRedi soon. I'm also gonna tell you about the renovation costs at the end of this video, so don't leave early. But for now, let's get our first before and after of this property pulled up. All right, so we are in the living room of this property. This is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, about 900 square foot house. We painted the house throughout, ceilings and walls, and we added ceiling fans, which you can't really see in this shot right now, but we added ceiling fans in the living room and in all of the rooms. I'll show you a close-up in a moment of the tile flooring. It's actually in really good condition, so we didn't have many flooring costs for this house, except for carpet in the bedrooms, which we'll get to in a moment. So yeah, this is pretty much just a typical living room, but let's go see the kitchen and then we'll see the bedrooms and the bathroom, which is where most of the work and where most of the money went into this house. All right, so before I can show you guys or talk too much about the kitchen, I just got a call from somebody that the AC machine might be leaking or the furnace. I'm really not sure, but I'm gonna call my AC guy, see if he can head over there to another house.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Give me a call, let me know, but I'll be over there probably in a few hours.
Okay.
All right, thanks. Okay, so if you haven't seen the episode in this First Time Flipper series where I talk about how to build your team and how to make sure you're working with good contractors and good handyman, I will definitely link that down below in the description for you, and you should watch it after this one. But for now, let's get back to these rehabs and how much everything cost and what it turned out looking like. All right, so you just saw that before footage, and here is the after. We got all this cleaned up, and this is kind of like the little dining area room right here, off the back door, and the kitchen. So at first glance, when you're looking at pictures, it looks like the kitchen, we didn't have to do much to, and it was all perfect. But a lot of the work that had to be done in this house was actually undoing the previous contractor's work and redoing it the correct way. The owner that I bought this property from had a contractor who was just, I don't know what this man was thinking, but he did so many things wrong. You can go check out this episode right here to see a breakdown of absolutely everything he did wrong. But in this kitchen, the cabinets were hung with just like one nail holding them up. So all of these cabinets had to be rehung. We had to, of course, put on the cabinet hardware. We got new appliances. What else did we have to do? Oh, we had to redo the backsplash because he did not secure the backsplash actually to the wall. And so if you touched it, the tile was falling off. It was a mess, but I'm loving how the kitchen looks now, and it's actually all secure and gonna stay where it's supposed to stay. Okay, so this house again has 3 bedrooms, and we didn't have to do much with the bedrooms except for the fact that all of the windows in this house, instead of having actual insulation and like spray foam between the window and like the actual wall of the house, the last contractor stuffed toilet paper. So it took a lot of time to reframe these windows and do it correctly, not with toilet tissue. So that was one of the big things in the bedrooms. Other than that, new paint, new floors, new light fixtures, and got some ceiling fans hooked up. So my electrician had to go in the attic and set the correct light fixtures so we could have ceiling fans in all of the bedrooms. There is AC, but you know, some people like it cool at night, so we wanted to make sure all the bedrooms had ceiling fans as well. All right, this is a small bathroom, but it took up a big and unexpected chunk of the rehab budget. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Rent Ready, because when you are burning properties, you don't just sell it and be done with it. You find a tenant, rent it out, and then you have to manage that tenant. So Rent Ready is the perfect platform for new and even experienced landlords to take property management into your own hands, but not spend all day answering phone calls and having to change toilets yourself. Traditional property managers are typically going to charge you 10% of whatever your rent is for that property each month. So as you continue to grow, a bigger and bigger chunk of your cash flow starts going to property managers. But with Rent Ready, it's completely different in two important ways. First, you don't pay 10% per property like that traditional property manager. Instead, you pay one price and you get unlimited properties. And if you use the code Lili, L-I-L-I, at checkout, you'll get 50% off any plan you choose. If you sign up for the annual plan, it's typically $9 a month, but if you use that code Lili, you'll be getting property management for unlimited properties for less than $5 a month. So the pricing is a no-brainer. Plus, everything that a traditional property manager would charge you 10% per property to do, you can do right from the Rent Ready mobile app. So I'll be listing all of my properties for rent using the Rent Ready app. Potential tenants will be able to pre-qualify and make sure they're a good fit for the property. They can also submit their application, background check, credit check, all of that right through the Rent Ready app. And once I select a tenant, they'll also be able to pay rent through the Rent Ready app. They'll also be able to give maintenance requests so that I can get my handyman over here to fix anything that they need. I'm telling you guys, I'm super excited about how streamlined the process is going to be to rent out these properties using Rent Ready, and I think it's going to be a great fit for you as well. So use the code Lili at checkout to get 50% off any plan you choose, and thank you so much to the team over at Rent Ready. Now let's talk about this bathroom. All right, so the first thing you probably notice is that we no longer have that old moldy shower insert. We've got a nice tiled shower with a bathtub, which honestly didn't cost much money. Of course, I'm gonna reveal all the rehab costs at the end of this video, but where the issues came in for this bathroom were with the toilet. I'm gonna pop up some pictures for you guys, but this toilet line was full of tree roots. I talked about this in a previous video, but one of the things that I learned specifically from this house is to check the sewer line of every single property before you buy it. Because if I had done that, I would have known that this toilet line was full of tree roots, and I would have asked for even more of a price reduction so that I didn't end up going, you know, up in my budget to fix that unexpected problem. But for the most part, this house turned out great. It just finished up yesterday with one more thing that I really didn't want to do, but we had to do outside. I'll show you that. We'll head over to the next property, and then I'll break down all of the rehab costs and where we're at with these deals. The last thing I want to do is put up some before and afters of this roof for you guys, because this was the last thing that got finished just like yesterday, because I was holding out. The roof was in good-ish condition, but it was a horrible color, and we just could not figure out the color scheme to make this house pop. So I decided to pull the trigger, and I'll give you a preview. I paid $5,000 to get a new roof put on this property, and I think it looks pretty darn good. All right, so we're at the next property, and the great thing about this property is that it's a duplex. So I'm just super excited to show you the before and after, because one side of this duplex has not been renovated yet, and the other side is completely done and going up for rent today. Now, the situation was kind of interesting because usually I don't want to buy occupied houses because I want to be able to go right in, start renovating, and not have to ask somebody to leave. But one side of this duplex was vacant. The other side had a tenant who was in the process of buying their own house. And so they stayed while I was renovating one side. I got to keep that rent income coming in during the first part of the renovation. They got to have a place to stay until the closing on their house happened. And now this side is done. They've moved out on the other side. So now it's time to rent out this side and do the renovation over here. But first, let's put up a before and after of the outside of this house, and then we'll go into the side where we haven't done the renovation yet. All right, so we're standing in the kitchen, and as you can see, the theme for this house is brown, brown, brown. When you get to the other side and you see what it looks like after the renovation, it's gonna look like a completely different house. Hold that. Hello, this is Lili.
Hi, Lili. This is Christina. How you doing?
Hey, Christina, I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so that call was from one of the lenders who is handling the refinances for these properties. And so now that they're completed, we're waiting for the appraiser to come out so that we can do the refinance part of the BRRRR. We'll talk about that in the next video, but for now, let's keep taking a look at this kitchen and the things that need to be done and that we've already done on the other side. So as you can see, the flooring here used to be that brown tile. There's still a little bit more for them to get up, and that went all the way out to the front door. So that comes up. We've got the old appliances. The cabinets are actually in pretty good shape, so they'll get sanded, any scratches will get filled in, and they'll get painted. And of course, we'll add the hardware. We'll get new granite countertops with backsplash, new sink, new fixtures. We'll get rid of this little prep sink over here, and that'll be the kitchen. Now, the kitchen goes right out into this really brown living room. So I really like this living room, but when we first walked in here, it was just so much brown. Brown carpet, brown trim, brown fireplace, brown stairs, everything was brown. So this will get painted, spruced up, and I'll show you the flooring that we already put in the other side. The same thing's gonna go in here. Down here, it's not quite a master suite, but on the right here, we've got laundry hookups. I'll open this door for you guys. On the left, we've got this huge bedroom with a nice big window. You might notice that unfortunately this house has popcorn ceilings. I did get those tested. They do not have asbestos, so we are just gonna leave it. This bathroom, some pretty nice wallpaper, and also had the tile, which has been chiseled up, and a nice brown shower insert. I'll show you on the other side what we do with those. All right, so one of the things that I really like about this house is these vaulted ceilings. We've got skylights. It just makes it feel a lot bigger. But this railing and banister is really old and really beat up. So this gets replaced. The paneling gets painted, and we get the same luxury vinyl flooring that we're putting everywhere will also go on the steps. Let's go upstairs. All right, so this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom duplex each side. So we've got 2 bedrooms upstairs, really nice spacing. Don't love the Pepto-Bismol walls with the oak trim, but we'll get that taken care of. But we've also got a Jack and Jill style bathroom between the 2 bedrooms, so I'll show you that. Oh, before we go, the previous tenants did have pets, and since we tore up the carpet, you can see where the pets had a few accidents. So to make sure that this stuff doesn't smell after we put down the new flooring, we'll spray it with Kills, and that will kill the smell, and then we'll put down the new flooring. Each of the 2 bedrooms has their own sink area, so we'll get a new mirror, new light fixture, and new countertop, paint the vanity, and just kind of spruce this area up. And then there's a toilet and a shower in between. It's gonna be a little bit hard to show you guys that right now because the tile is getting torn up, and so it's a little hard to open the door. But you know what a toilet looks like, you know what a tub looks like. All right, you guys have seen that side. Let's go see the after. Come on. Follow me. Man, I got so many keys. I'm under pressure and I can't remember which one it is. That's all right. Ready for this? Ta-da! I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is a completely different kitchen and I love it. As you can see, we painted the cabinets, we brightened the space up, we got tile backsplash. One thing I forgot to mention, let's throw in a before picture from over there. We had a drop ceiling that came all the way down to right here, and that was kind of had like those elementary school panels. We raised up that, we got rid of that drop ceiling to raise back up to the original ceiling. We got a nice big light fixture in here, new cabinet hardware. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. So, as you can see, we also brightened up the living room area. We've got continuous flooring all throughout. This is a luxury vinyl plank from Cali Bamboo. Love them, love this flooring. I'll leave a link in the description. Not sponsored, but leave a link in the description if you want this type of flooring. We also painted that fireplace gray so that, you know, it just brightens up the space and it's not brown. New light fixtures. That mirror is getting hung in about 5 minutes before we start showing this to tenants. It's been clean, it smells good in here. I'm liking the space. I want to show you guys the stairway, what we did differently from the other side. So one of my contractors is about to come in, hang that mirror, put a few finishing touches on, but first I want to show you guys this staircase. We got rid of that banister, we painted the paneling white, and we put in new black railing. I think it looks pretty great. And this space just feels so much bigger, feels so much more comfortable. The whites and grays and the little bit of blue, I like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's go see the bedroom. So we also updated and got a digital touchpad instead of that twisty thing. Laundry hookups, all we had to do in here was freshen up the cabinets. I gotta get 2 more things there. And the bedroom. If you guys remember that other side, this is the one with the huge window. So some big changes in this bathroom. No more wallpaper. We've now got a white vanity with granite. We'll get a nice big mirror here, but let me show you the change we made so we didn't have to have a brown tub. So this tub was refinished. The surface was refinished to be white. New flooring in the bathrooms, new toilet, new vanity. So as you guys can see, we've also got the same luxury vinyl on the stairs with just a bullnose piece. If you have not seen the episode where I talk about all the mistakes that I made, definitely want to go back and watch that because these stairs, they kept me up at night, y'all. All right, there's people downstairs, but this nice, huge room is no longer Pepto-Bismol pink. We painted it, we painted the trim, we've got new flooring, new light fixtures, and I'm gonna show you back here where we've got the same situation as downstairs, where the same granite that's in the kitchen is in all of the bathrooms as well. Contractor is here right now to put these doors back on. Hello, everybody. Nice granite. New medicine cabinet. New light fixture. I don't know about y'all, but I thought it was pretty cool that the inside of the medicine cabinet has a mirror as well. I don't know. All right, in the bathroom, same thing, new flooring, freshly refinished tub insert. The other side has same situation. And then the second nice big upstairs bedroom, which when you leave out of here, comes right back down. Voila. So hopefully you enjoy seeing the real live before and after of one side that the renovation has barely started and this side when we're about to rent it out. But before you go, let's head back to the office so you can see the rehab breakdown of the 2 properties you've seen today, so you can figure out how much does it cost to do these jobs. Also, a big thank you to the sponsor of this video, Rent Ready. Remember, you can get your property management through their online platform for less than $5 a month if you use the code Lili, L-I-L-I, at checkout. I've got a link in the description for you. But for now, let's head back to the office and break down these rehab costs. All right, welcome back. This is obviously a different day. I have been busy hanging drywall and managing contractors and finding new deals. So it took me a little while, but I wanted to get this video to you guys, or basically finish this video and share the rehab costs. So I've got everything right here for you, and I'm excited to do this because I don't see a lot of YouTubers or, you know, people that are actually investing out there breaking down all of their costs. It's actually kind of scary. As I was writing this down, I was like, man, am I really gonna share all of this? And I have all the numbers right here for you. One thing I do want to say before we get started is that if you've been watching this series, you know that there have been a couple of videos that have been sponsored by wonderful supporters of the channel. Both Propstream and Rent Ready have sponsored videos for the channel, which has helped go towards the rehab costs. But I'm not going to include those sponsorships in these numbers so that you guys can get a real and true estimate of what I was able to do these rehab costs for without any help from any sponsorships. And I will also say that everyone does rehabs differently. The materials that you choose, the contractors that you use, the experience you have. This is my first time going at it, and this is what I was able to do. So that's what I'm gonna share with you guys. To start off, property number 1, the first one that we went to at the start of this video, the house with the red door. That property was purchased for $70,000. And before I get into this, let me break it down into the way that I do my costs. So first I think about what are my upfront or fixed costs. So upfront and fixed, I kind of bundle them together. That's gonna be my closing costs. How much did I have to pay for the loan? We'll talk about how I got the loan in a moment. What was my interest? What did I pay for utilities? What did I pay for insurance? All of that stuff. That's not actually like money going towards improving the property, but just stuff that you have to pay to even be rehabbing a house. I put that in one category. Then I have my actual rehab costs, my exterior, my interior, that type of thing. And then I have my breakdown of what the heck does this mean? Like how much money this is gonna make me? What is the return on this investment gonna look like? All of that comes at the end. So to start off, we've got a purchase price of $70,000 for this one. I purchased this property with a private money loan. So that means a wealthy individual that I know, that I met through basketball, through real estate investing and documenting on the channel. They saw my content and wanted to support me and to get a little bit more passive in their real estate investing. So they gave me a private loan for the purchased amount of $70,000, and I was responsible for funding the rehab itself. If you want to hear more about the types of funding that I'm using, definitely check out this video right here because I break down all the funding I'm using for every deal this summer. So purchase of $70,000 that was brought to the table by my private money lender. I paid closing costs of $1,827. Those are the things like the title fees and the escrow fees and all of the fees that basically the title company charges to make sure that your loan is closed in accordance with the law. So that was $1,827. My private money loan had a 1-point fee, which is 1 percentage point of the purchase price, which means they loaned me $70,000, which means upfront I paid them $700. So I paid them 1 percentage point of that loan upfront. So I had a loan fee of $700. This loan was also at 10% interest, which came out to a 2-month interest charge of $1,166. That's how much interest we had to pay on this loan because it only took 2 months to rehab this property. Utilities, over the course of this 2-month rehab, I paid $177.14 in utilities and insurance. So I got a builder's risk policy, which is basically like an insurance policy for homeowners, but for investors while you're doing the renovation on the property. That will turn into normal homeowners insurance at the end once this is all done. But for now, I had to pay builder's risk insurance just in case something went wrong during the renovation process, and that was $532. So my upfront kind of fixed cost before we even get into the rehab was $4,402.14. I had estimated that this would be around $4,500. Those things that are like your loan fees, your interest, and your insurance, you can get all of that out of the way and get those kind of really hammered down for what it's going to cost you before you even start the project. The only thing that was a little bit up in the air was how much the utilities were going to cost. So I came in about $100 under my estimates for that. So we're all in for $4,402 before we even start swinging a hammer. Now let's break down the rehab. So we've got it broken into exterior and interior. So the first thing on the exterior was the roof, and we'll throw up some pictures here for you guys. I did not want to replace this roof. Got up there with my roofing guy and it was actually in really good shape, but the color was horrible. And it took so long and so much work to try to figure out what color to paint the house. If we weren't going to change the roof, should we change the roof, should we not? And eventually, after this debacle that you guys saw on Instagram of trying to figure out how to match with this roof and the paint colors just looking horrible, we wasted about $300 on paint that we ended up painting right over with white. I decided to replace the roof. So the exterior paint and repairs that were needed for like some wood rot and some damage on the outside, that cost me $3,802.60, and the roof itself cost me $5,410. Also on the exterior, we had to add a new AC unit, which was $2,925. And something else that I didn't budget for was a new garage door, because the garage door that was in there, the guy who came out to look at it said that it was the worst install he had ever seen. It was a 2-car garage door, but all of the pieces and components and the motors that they used on this garage door were for a 1-car garage. And so it just wasn't strong enough to lift that garage door. It was all banged up. I really didn't want to replace it, but it needed it, and that cost me $1,800. Hadn't budgeted for that or the roof, so that was already a huge hit right there. Somebody smart can add that up. $5,410 plus $1,800. Maybe my editor will do it for us. Ding! That's how much I wasn't expecting to pay on the exterior, so that stunk. And the other thing I had on the exterior was a dumpster for $350, so that my contractors could be throwing stuff into the dumpster as they went and did the roof and all of the other stuff they need to do. So in the exterior, we spent $14,287.60. And let me just go ahead and do the math. So that roof was $5,410. The garage door was $1,800. So that's $7,210 that I did not want to spend. Now I had set some aside for like servicing the roof and that type of thing, probably about I think $700 I had set aside. So it really went over on the exterior $6,500, which really hurt me. In the future, I will make better decisions about should I replace the roof up front or not and budget for that. And on the garage door, I'm not a garage door expert, but now I do have a garage door guy who can come out and give me estimates and make sure things were good to go. So we went a little over there, but we're sitting at $14,287.60. Now onto the interior. The way that I did the interior, there was not a lot of work needed inside the house that needed a licensed professional. We had a little bit of plumbing and a little bit of electrical, but for the main things like laying carpet, painting, new kitchen countertops, installing those, installing new appliances, that type of thing was just general contractor work. And so I had one general contracting crew. It's an all-female crew that I found in a local Facebook group. They do great work. And so I paid them a flat fee to do all of the interior labor that wasn't licensed work. So that labor for the interior cost me $4,490. That's how much I paid them just for the labor. For materials, we did all new tile wall surround in the bathroom. We did new vanity, new mirror, new light, or let me leave light fixtures out for a second. New vanity, new mirror, new toilet. That material for the bathroom cost me $475.33. Now we did new light fixtures throughout, new doorknobs throughout. That cost me $498.28. In the kitchen, we did a new sink and a new faucet that cost me $179. We did some electrical work that had a licensed electrician come in to do just to fix some outlets that weren't working. And we added a new garbage disposal. That cost me $253.99. We put new cabinet hardware on the kitchen cabinets. That cost me $22.72. And I bought new appliances. This property is in an area and an income level where renters are really wanting to have all of the appliances that they need. And so we did do a full appliance package on this one for the kitchen. We did dishwasher, stove, and refrigerator. The only thing they would have to get or bring from their current unit is a microwave. And those appliances cost me $1,094. Now I mentioned that in the kitchen there were some new things that I didn't have to pay for, like the kitchen countertops. And that's because this property had already been kind of like a third of the way rehabbed. And so there were some things that we could salvage and use from the previous job, but there were some costs, like the labor costs actually went higher because we ended up finding things during the renovation that were done wrong by the previous contractor that we had to go back and redo. Check out this video right here if you want to see all the things that went wrong with this property and a few others. So from there, we've got the kitchen. paint at this property, just the materials and the tape and the plastic, all the stuff that they needed, cost me $354.45. If you saw that video where things were going wrong, you know that we had some plumbing issues on this property. A big lesson learned for me is to scope the plumbing line every single time I buy a property, before I even buy the property, during my due diligence period, because there was a lot of plumbing issues on this property. There were tree roots that took forever for my plumber to get out of the lines. At one point, I went to the house and he was working and trying to snake out and get these tree roots out of the plumbing line. And he was like, "These tree roots are gonna make me cry." I was like, "Oh man, this guy's gonna quit on me." But no, he did a great job. But that cost me $1,400 to get the plumbing right on this property. Other thing we had to pay for was carpet. Paid $583 for carpet, and we got the property cleaned for $150. So all in all, the interior cost $9,800. The exterior cost that $14,287.60. And so this entire rehab cost $23,788.37. Let me know in the comments below, for property number 1, was that more or less than you were anticipating? This is the part where I want to share with you guys how I made the decision to BRRRR these properties instead of flipping them. Because the BRRRR stands for buy, we did that for $70,000. Rehab, we got our rehab numbers here. Rent, refinance, repeat. So let's talk about the rent and the refinance and how that plays into this part of the process. First off, so we did the buy, the rehab. The property is now rented out for $1,200, so keep that in mind. And now it's time to do the refinance. We already have the appraisal done, where somebody comes in and looks at the property, looks at the improvements we made, look at the neighborhood, the comparable sales, and tell us what they think that this property is worth. Fingers crossed, this property appraises for $115,000. If it appraises for $115,000, I can get 80% of that back in cash from a cash out refinance. If you want to know more about the BRRRR strategy after I do this math breakdown, check out this video right here, which goes even more in depth. But if I get $115,000 appraisal and I get $80,000 of that back, that means that I would be getting $92,000 back in cash. But that's not just mine to go run with. I need to pay back the $70,000 that I borrowed from a private lender. So take that $92,000, knock off $70,000. I also have my $23,788.37 renovation. I've got to knock that off. And remember, our fixed costs, our closing costs, and our loan fees, and our interest and insurance, all of that from the beginning. I've also got to knock off $4,402.14. Once all of that is taken out of that $92,000, I'm actually going to be leaving $6,190.51 in this deal. Hopefully that makes sense. I can appraise for $115,000. I get 80% of that back, which means I get $92,000. But then I have to account for the purchase, the rehab, all of my closing costs, which means I will be able to pay back my $70,000 loan, and I will also be able to pay back myself for most of the money that I put in the rehab, but I will have left $6,190.51 in the deal. So basically I lose $6,000 on this deal. How can that possibly be a good deal? Well, here's what happens. The property is now going to be on a mortgage. Instead of that $70,000 private loan that I now have a mortgage for the $92,000 cash out that I took from the property. Remember, I took $92,000 of cash from the bank, which means I'll be paying that back in the form of a normal mortgage, which will put my monthly payment at about $600. So every month I will owe the bank $600 in my mortgage. The property is renting out for $1,200, which means I will be making $600 a month before I account for vacancy and repairs and that type of thing. Now, I do my numbers a little differently, where I set aside a amount of money, let's call it $5,000, for each property. And that is what will go towards repairs and vacancy, etc., etc. And I will keep that account above that threshold. So I will always keep that account above $5,000. And my cash flow, I treat separately. So I've got an account for reserves and repairs and all of that stuff. Let's say I'm going to throw $5,000 in there. My cash flow, though, because I want to know my return for my cash flow, I don't take my vacancy and repairs out of there. That's just how I do it. People do it differently. So if I'm making $1,200 a month in rent and I have to pay $600 out for my mortgage, I'll have about $600 left over. $600 a month times 12 is $7,200 a year. To get my return on investment, I take my $7,200 a year, divide that by the amount of money I left in the deal, right? So my $7,200 is divided by $6,190.51, and that equals 1.16, or a 116% return on my investment. I don't know many places that you can get 116% return on investment. And the way I look at it is like this. I'm going to leave $6,190 in this deal, and I'm going to make $7,200 in the first year. So I'm going to make back 116% of what I put into the deal in the very first year. And of course, I'm not going to sell it after a year. I'm going to continue to make that $7,200 a year. The rent might go up in the future, so I'd be making more. Tax advantages, all of those other reasons that real estate is a great investment. But this 116% return, if we can get that $115,000 appraisal, would be very, very nice. I call that an accomplishment for sure. It's Lily from the future. I'm here doing some DIY stuff on a renovation, but this video is getting pretty long and YouTube doesn't always love that. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you the rehab breakdown of the second property as a free bonus video. All you gotta do is hit the link in the description and I'll email it to you right away. So don't forget to change the color of the like button before you leave this video. Hit the link in the description and I'll email you soon.